before, you know, like
Hello, everybody, and welcome to San Antonio After Dark. I know we've been on a few weeks break, and I sincerely apologize about that. Around these parts, we do take real life affairs to have priority over the game, and so we're all back. Hopefully, Steven, one of the guys who dropped in on the stream once, will be joining us next week. I've got my fingers crossed. And worst comes to worst, I'm gonna beat it out of him tomorrow. But where we last left off in the game, Lucas, Allie,
that's me.
and Kirk, you three had assaulted the mage in mage territory. And they were not too pleased about that, and they kind of let you have it.
I don't recall it being that way at all. I had a body cam on, and he clearly had a gun.
So they reached out to, oh, what did I name her? It was something like Fire Flash or something like that.
Flood waters.
I think it was Flash Fire. I reached out to the set leader of the other set, and she had told them, how about you tail him and track him instead of attacking him outright where he lives? Flashfire was her name.
Nope, don't work that way.
So they were given an idea to at least try and track this guy down again. And that's where we left off. They had not made a decision on what they were going to do. And we're going to pick up exactly where we left off. It is still the 19th of February, 2017.
Somebody give me a glass bottle. I'm gonna throw it at that house.
Well, I think we should go toilet paper it on April Fools.
Teach those mages a lesson.
And real quick for anyone, if we do happen to drop tonight, Kirk, myself, and Lucas all live in and around San Antonio, and there is a mighty massive storm. So if we cut early tonight, that's going to be why, and we'll just apologize now ahead of time for it.
But the story will continue because Zach will do everything improv for you.
That's right.
Just say all down the fork, guys.
As Allie is like, we are gonna wait till April Fools, and those mages won't know what hit them.
I was gonna say poopy. Does they just egg their house?
That'd be awesome.
And by the way, this is Allie, a 22-year-old too. So let's egg their house.
Nothing like with a little immaturity.
Maybe throwing some racist comments about mages.
Man, them damn forces mages, you know they be setting crap on fire, cause them folk, you can't trust them.
Yeah, I met one long ago.
And them time mages, you can't trust them neither.
So that's why I feel like I'm in this paradox loop called life.
So we're all stuck in Groundhog Day crap. Clean some of this crap off my desk.
So what are y'all's intention?
Well, shit, if we stuck in a Groundhog Day, then why don't I know how to drive a car yet?
You do, you just forget every day.
You know how to crash a car.
Well, I suppose, you know, since they're, I'm sure the mages have completely forgotten about us, because, you know, we're awesome, apparently. I guess we could try and surveil them. See what's going on with all that.
Let's just smash all their houses.
To smash all their houses?
Oh man, we should just order like a pizza and like a bunch of anchovies and send it to that address.
Every day. Just non-stop. Just be like, that's what y'all get for messing with us. Sorry, I'm trying them.
Yeah. I need like 20 subscriptions to GQ magazine and 20 subscriptions to Cosmopolitan.
Oh, and Playboy.
No, we don't want to give them any fun.
Oh no, we just find the oldest dude that lives on the block that said twice.
Oh yeah, the subscription to WebMD.
No WebMD.
To the title of Cancer.
That's right. Ache in the back turns into cancer.
Oh god, immaturity werewolves.
Alright, so
There is not a mature werewolf until you hit your 30s, which never happens almost.
I'm not sure. I mean, like I said, I guess we could try and tail them and see what's what.
All right.
Are we going to spy store and get some like super ancient shit?
I don't think we should ever do that and try and use those around mages.
you want to use Asian stuff?
What?
You know,
That's
some binoculars, some listening device.
Oh, agent! I thought you said Asian.
Secret agent man.
That's what I was thinking going through my head. You know what's to
Why are those guys hiding behind egg rolls outside?
So,
Ow!
so since we finally have a serious suggestion, besides initiating a prank war,
Right. Let's do that then. We'll go buy some binoculars and stuff and, you know, some newspapers with eye holes cut out in them.
Allie gets a text saying the vehicle's ready.
I'll go get it.
No.
But right now, y'all are still on foot.
Okay.
Time to go get that vehicle. Well, they already saw my vehicle. Okay, we need to buy an old junker.
Right. I know a junkyard.
Cool.
It's down in San Antonio, near a train yard. Oh, we can get a train!
Y'all are already in San Antonio.
Yes,
Yeah.
because the
Down,
train would be
down.
so convenient.
Well, I wonder how much a shitty old car would look like.
What? They had one in the Wild Wild West.
Yeah, they do.
And it was a really good train.
Yes, but back then, everything that was worth doing was on the train tracks or near them. That's not so much true now.
Truck, go to
And
a
I
junk.
remember the story of these mages that had a train track. And a train.
They once buried an entire city.
Yeah. Those were guys to look up to. But not these pansies!
Alright, so... we'll go
Enough
buy us a
references to
car,
the Wild West game.
Go buy us a car, and then go to the spy store that's right off of 35 there at 410. So...
I don't know the name of the store, but I know there are several tactical as fuck places around San Antonio.
I was
It's
gonna
called
say,
the Spy
military
Store.
Surplus.
It's literally called the spy store.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah,
I was
we-
thinking of, like the military surplus. We can also get like apparently cooking outfits.
San Antonio has a surplus of military surplus stores.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I could find a pair of BDUs that fit me, like old school, like 90s BDUs, I will buy them up in a fucking second, but I'm not spending $50 for them.
I was gonna say we should go also get some paintballing gear. Just start paintball in their house.
Yeah, because it worked out so well for us the last time we did anything to them.
Hey, paint.
Give us the book back! Oh wait, no, we're after a heart. Give us a heart!
Admittedly, y'all attacked them on their territory.
We didn't plan on attacking to him. He was just lying.
Kirk, Jesus Christ, why, man?
However, y'all have no problems purchasing binoculars for each of you. They even have directional microphones if each of you want one.
Well, we need to get a van. That's what we need. We need like a pedo van. So...
That's why I was saying junkyard.
Thank you for the host, Caffeinated Conquest. Thank you so much, man.
Junkyard.
Alright.
Sorry, I'm paying attention to the people hosting us as well.
Jessica goes, thank you for the host, man. Thank you. Zach's word out of there. Junkyard.
You're a junkyard. Heading to the junkyard. Get a nice
So, what type of van are you looking for?
Date rape.
All right, pedo van it is. Y'all actually have no problem finding a white panel van.
Really? That's good stick. I was gonna say more bland. We should put Mission Impossible. Tom Cruise.
Alright. Try, I should have been a little bit less. Yeah, never mind. It's too late now. It's out there. It's on the web.
It's a white panel van. Actually, you know that in San Antonio there was a whole bunch of surplus of them after Spectrum bought out Time Warner. But this is before that. However, they still retire their vans.
Sweet. No, not that it's,
But you do have a white panel van.
Oh,
Nice.
pedo. I heard pedo.
Yes.
Yes,
It's a pedo van.
it's called a pedo fan. Because you can toss a kid in the back, close the doors, and just drive away.
Yeah.
Sell some nice new shoes.
You can also throw a bed in the back, rape people, and toss them out while you're driving on your way done. When you're done.
Moving on. Now that we've thoroughly gotten ourselves on more lists than I started the night on.
Hi, FBI listener and NSA listener and CIA listener. We love you.
Speaking of which, random shout out, Paul is going to, hopefully in this next week, go and try and not get arrested taking his selfie in front of the NSA data center on the southwest side of town. So, we'll see what happens with that. They tend to call the SAPD on people that stop out front for too long.
There's some. Okay, this requires a little bit of explaining. San Antonio is actually a huge place for data centers. Not just like call centers, but actual data centers. The NSA, the FBI, and the CIA all have a data center in San Antonio. It's a great place to get a job if you have the right degrees, which I'm actually going to start be working on, but that's beside the point.
Yeah. Where should we just park? Outside the complex and just like buy some pops, some chips.
Outside of this particular one, there is a Papa John's.
Oh, sweet. We can just
Because,
there.
yeah, that's one of the places where Alamo Heights is across from is Papa John's. I've been by there a couple times. Those people are fancy rich, like multiple story houses rich.
Let's order a whole bunch of pizza, and then we'll shift in front of them, and then we'll take the pizza.
Yes, because that's in no way a violation of the litany. So I'm down.
I wonder if I could buy out this Papa John's.
No, you can't.
No, Papa John, like, franchises are super expensive.
So okay, this requires a little bit of explaining. Papa John's in San Antonio has like 20 some odd locations. Half of them are $1 million stores. Because they place them in the exact right position to be at $1 million or more a year per store. I've worked at a couple of them. Trust me.
They got that mono.
But
You are not taking this from the Mandigos. And in fact, I actually know the individual who is currently in charge, Mandigo the Third, and God, we're getting off on tangents tonight. I was hoping to avoid this. I actually yelled at him in front of the store one night, back when he was just the owner's son.
What'd you yell at him?
Oh, he was trying to strip my authority in front of my crew.
No, I mean, why did you yell at him?
Because he was trying to strip my authority in front of my crew.
What? What words did you use?
Oh, I told him I'm not backing off of the slap station. This is my make line.
Yes.
He pulled me off to the side, and like I said, we're off on a fucking tangent. He pulled me off to the side, and it's like, you can't talk to me like that. I'm like, I motivate my staff on the make line. You come in here, and you guys just show up at the last second when we've been working hard all night long. We work hard for this, and we don't like to move our stations down unless you're going to speed up. I'll work with you, but that's my spot. I keep the pace in this store.
Yeah, I do the slap.
He's like, fine, but you can't talk like me to that no more. I'm like, okay, that works. Mandigo is not my biggest fan, by the way.
You told him, it was like, you know what? As for your punishment, I will use you later on in a vague story.
So, You guys park outside of the entrance to the location. Give me Dex and Stealth.
I want to see this Papa John guy. Bring him out. Dex and Stealth.
Who about 1 year from now will no longer be the owner of Papa John's because he retires. Because he sent a whole bunch of racist emails. Oi.
Are we inhuman? Yeah, we're.
Yes, you're in Hamid.
I would imagine so, as I don't
Yourselves,
see
Dustin.
any reason that we would not be.
6.
Yeah, always 6 unless I state otherwise.
2 successes.
And for Mr. Kirk, all right.
1 success.
Yeah, y'all all managed to not look conspicuous like you're actually watching for a specific vehicle. Let me see, because I have notes about this.
That's because we're busy watching the Papa Johns.
That's right.
Yes. You bring that Papa John over here now.
He seems to leave the house at, I did not write that down. At 7:30 a.m., he leaves the house.
Wow, we've been here all night. Wow.
Mm-hmm. It's a stakeout.
It's a stakeout. I'm like, that's just how it goes.
Alright, turn on the car slowly and we'll run him over.
So who's driving?
I'll drive.
Well, who's awake?
Well, none of y'all have an issue with stamina. You're werewolves.
Who's taking shifts, though? Or are we just all staying awake and be like, let's eat more pizza?
We look like crackheads outside Papa John's. Why are you not open?
Yo, bring them breadsticks over.
I'll drive. We'll see how this goes.
Give me Dex and Stealth.
Alright. That'll be 1 success at difficulty 6.
Okay.
One deck's better than me.
Alrighty then.
So it's Dex and Stealth, not Dex and Drive?
Are you going to try and keep up with him as... Okay.
Fool don't see nothing.
So...
As he crashes his car and ejects himself right into our arms.
So...
I need a ride. Can you guys give me a ride?
Hold on 1 second.
Ranger?
No, we're not using that coin. We're using this coin. Heads or tails?
Tails.
Alright. He runs the red light, and immediately you see lights flash in his rearview mirror.
No. We jump out with our smartphones. Be like, he didn't do nothing. Leave that black man alone.
He ain't no black man. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's actually us. We've got the little red light, blue light thing on our phone going, woo, 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 woo. Get him.
Do you drive by, or do you, or...
Dude, he's like a mage. This is like some beat cop. I'm sure either it'll escalate way out of control, or he'll just Jedi mind trick him and give him brain cancer or something.
Well, I'm looking specifically to see if you drive by and, like, turn into a parking space or something, or if you stop behind the cop, stop behind the guy.
I think we should kill the cop and take the guy.
That's what I was thinking of. Like, we could kill the cop, or at least knock him out, and then be like, get out of here. This is our beat. And then said, we rescued you. Now give us
I
stuff.
think we go ahead and turn around the
We
corner.
rescued you from a $25 ticket. That's a life boon.
Like I said, I'm not going to tell you what you can or
We're
cannot
gonna
do.
pull ahead and find a place to park where we can keep an eye on this.
Alright. So, About 15 minutes later, he picks back up and he starts driving again. You notice that it does look like he probably got a ticket for running a red light. Lahoo, sir. Sorry, couldn't help myself. I am an old Jim Carrey fan. Carver. Yeah, we're at a moment where Laura is trying to get the dogs out except for Carver. Ooh, that works. Thank you, my love. Oh, I love you.
We will begin our pursuit again.
Okay. Y'all are gonna see me do something I really don't like to do on stream, but stop it.
Well, just as long as you keep it below the camera and just, don't tell anybody, it's fine.
Once again, give me a roll of Dex and Stealth.
Yay!
He doesn't seem to be noticing you. Sorry, I haven't had dinner yet.
Was it all of us or just Dyson?
Just Dyson, because I'm driving.
Mm-hmm.
Driving Dyson.
No straw.
Take the lid off and pour that shit down your throat.
It's a milkshake.
Like I said, take that shit off, pour it down your throat.
So, about 10 minutes later, you arrive. It's 7:55 on the dot. You arrive at a company. As you get out of his vehicle, you see he reaches into the back seat with a silver briefcase and pulls it out.
That's cocaine. I know that briefcase.
It's a high security briefcase.
Uh-huh.
That's because it's good cocaine.
He walks in through a badged door. Let me see. Sorry, I had the notes memorized, but we haven't played in a couple weeks. He badges himself into the door, and it locks behind him.
I just throw Lucas through the door. No.
How much do you weigh?
What's this building that he went to? Hopefully not Magadon.
It's not Magadon. What did I name it?
Minodon.
Oh, woo! Much nicer version.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a lower brand Kienta. We make.
I wrote all these details about this company. Like a lot of details about the company, where it fits into the greater universe. I forgot to name it.
How it goes, man. It's how it
Have I not said I have a horrible habit of not naming things?
What does it do?
It is called.
That's not what I asked you.
It's called Ethereal Research.
Okay.
Time to get on the phone with the big chief and start asking what this does.
Yeah.
Outside the building, it seems to have its own private security, not many officers. You see one guy walking outside the fenced portion. It looks like it's just big enough to accept a delivery, like a U-Haul sized truck into the back to drop off supplies for research. It is mostly a red brick building. which isn't too common in San Antonio. Like actual proper red brick. Like you know what I mean by a red brick building, right?
Not Pueblo.
Not Pueblo.
Okay.
Um, it has two. The front doors is a pair of glass doors that push out because of legal reasons, and it has an electronic scanner. This is what you notice from the road, by the way. Driving around the building even further, you realize that it is a single-story building. It is not built on any curves or any. It looks like it might even have its own sewer access, but you can't confirm it because, you're not looking around in the sewers. However, the entire property is fenced in up into the front doors and around the west side of the building. Everything where the loading bay is fenced in properly.
Okay. So, Allie's gonna pull out her phone, record this, whatever the address is, what the street, what time we arrived, how long it took, and what way we went.
How much pizza we ate before we got here.
That's right. We're expensing this to your dad.
Did we buy any bugs and to track through his conversations? I wonder if he left his cell phone and actually.
His vehicle is in the public parking lot.
Ooh, that's even better.
Let's plant an explosive on it.
I think that's a fabulous idea.
None of you have explosives. None of you have any materials for it.
Oh, yes, I do. No, I don't. I got an arrow. I could shoot it into his gas.
Was a drive-by arrowing.
I could shoot it into his gas tank.
Yeah,
Would you call it a harrowing experience?
Let's in this game become terrorists.
Nice.
That is the beautifulest thing.
Dude, we're monkey wrenchers. We're terrorists by default. We are eco-terrorists.
To the will of Gaia.
Very much so.
And Mr. Pledge.
I like that guy. Mr.
God
Bean.
damn it, every time.
Even with my penis.
So who has the best stealth? Stealth.
Best stealth, that would not be me.
Stealth. I got one.
Oh god. That's seriously I'm at 4.
Yeah, you got me beat, man. I got 3. I got a dex of 2 and a stealth of 1.
Oh god.
I got
Then why were you rolling only 3 dice for your...
No, I rolled 4.
No, for Kirk.
Yeah, I have a dex of 2 and a stealth of 1.
Oh, of 1. I thought you said 3.
No!
That would be 3 dice. 3 dice, Justin.
I'm like, that would be amazing and so cool, but that is not me. I am a theurge. I sometimes talk to streetlights. There's no amount of stealth that will hide that.
Man, you're busy half the time talking to your gun.
Yeah.
Kurt, I have a question.
Go ahead.
If we, say if we bring, hopefully that we bought one, because if not, then this idea just went go. If we tracked or tapped his phone, and I bring that through the Umbra, and find his phone, or tap something in his car, so we don't have to, follow him around.
Is that possible, Kirk?
No?
Mortal stuff starts breaking down almost immediately when you take it into the Umbra.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's no signal in the Umbra unless you have an awakened phone.
Awaken the phone.
What about if I grab his phone, you come with me, and then we awaken it?
I think he would notice that, and then we would be disintegrated.
Well, first he has to find us.
He's a mage. Who knows if he can find us or not? There are mages in the Umbra. In fact, there were 5 or 6 laughing at us the last time. So... yeah. The Umbra is not a safe place for mages.
So, what about, do you think we maybe have time? How about this? We go, pop his tires, one of us, and then we pull him suddenly, or incidentally, with the spare tire.
It's a secured parking lot is how he described it to me.
The parking lot isn't. It's a public parking lot. There's very few spaces in it. but his car isn't like behind the gated area.
Okay.
Let's key his car.
Like,
You notice that in the parking lot there's only about 20 spaces total, 4 of which are handicapped.
And it's not like this guy won't recognize us from when he kicked our ass just, a few days ago.
I'm gonna pee in his gas tank.
Like, we are in no way, shape, or form able to, mask our dorkness from this guy. He's not gonna be like, shit, y'all look just like some people that tried to murder me in my front yard the other day, but you got a spare tire, so it's cool.
Hey!
right?
I try to eat healthy, alright? I am sorry I'm overweight.
Hello, Mazzy. Nice to see you again.
So,
The car, actually. Just try it. And then just randomly kidnap him in the parking lot.
but what if he had the heart in that briefcase, and now that heart is inside this building, and he doesn't come out with it?
Then we...
That is true.
Hey, Kirk, what about if you cross into the Umbra and see if this is run by mages?
Well, there's not gonna be a sign. It's not like Ready Player One, where it's like digital strip club in the Umbra. I'm not going into the Oasis here.
Wait. There's a strip club in the Umbra?
You could
Yes, there are many strip clubs in the Umbra.
you could go in that place.
You know what? I will peek. Let's get a gauntlet here.
You don't
7,
have
but
that
you don't have to roll.
Okay.
And I'm considering this to be a low-stress situation.
It's about not to be.
We are one with the otter.
God damn it, I put myself 3 times in the same spot. Am I the only one that does that? Whenever you bite your lip, you always bite the same goddamn spot.
Well,
Pardon
because
my
it's
language.
It's more swollen, so your teeth naturally gravitate towards it. So.
get out of the way.
Peeking into the Umbra, what you see is, basically you're taking kin at this point. You take a look around, and you see that the doors have sigils on them. Give me intelligence and occult.
Sure.
Difficulty 9.
All right, awesome. That would be no successes.
No idea what they do.
It's mage bullshit.
As you take a look around the outside of the building, again, remember you only have access to see the from outside the gate.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's basically what I could see in the real world, just in the Umbra. So.
I like that. It's mage bullshit. It's not.
You notice the same type of sigil around the fence, and specifically on the bay doors and the additional fire exit, which I forgot to describe a few minutes ago.
Okay. I will return to the real world. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they've got signs over there that say keep out.
What is that, what does this company do? Like, I'm gonna Google this company.
Research company.
Tech-wise, medical...
Doesn't say.
Yeah, I'm like...
Well, okay, time for me to go... Are we agreeing that I'm just gonna go walk through the front door and see if I can get a job here?
Wow.
That escalated.
Yeah, okay, go for it. Yeah, go for it.
Like,
So-
as a specimen.
We don't
Or
know what it is.
stripper. I've got some glitter in the glove box.
Now remember, with Pulse of the Invisible, you're actually seeing both sides at the same time.
Yeah.
That's going to be important. So, y'all were talking about seeing if his vehicle still had his cell phone in it. Do y'all still want to do that?
Well, since we ain't the stealthiest of ninja mofos, I mean, I suppose we could try and do that.
I'll go and distract the cameras, and then
How are you gonna distract the cameras?
Over here.
or Kirk, you can always do your sun dance and see how.
The white man of this building is researching into the ways of my people. This is wrong. Their cures for cancer come from Indian bones. What the hell?
All right. So,
Dressing up like an Indian is not always the answer.
I think I can pick the lock.
this is what you can do. You can just walk by the car and take a glance in, and that wouldn't trigger them to do a perception alertness roll.
Okay.
But if you sit there and you want to take a hard look into it, that would require a stealth roll. Well, y'all are still all in the vehicle right now.
Who's gonna go look real quick?
You know what? I'll go walk by like I'm looking for information. Maybe if looking for a job and walk by.
I get it. Perception alertness difficulty 8.
Wait, you're a Metis. You don't have Blur of the Milky Eye?
No.
No, not you, Allie. Lucas.
Oh.
No, why would I have Blur of the Milky Eye?
Isn't that one of their breed gifts? Like level 1?
No, that's a Ragabash gift.
Is it
Ragabash.
I'm thinking of?
Yeah.
Alright, give me 1 second. I will be right back while y'all figure this out.
Alright, so what gifts do we have?
I got Sense the Worm. Sense the Worm, Persuasion, Resist Pain. Persuasion could work. Persuasion could have worked long ago before you shook the guy.
I got Mother's Touch, Spirit Speech, Master of Fire, and Control Simple Machine. So I could unlock the guy's door. But, you know.
I've got Heightened Senses, Trash is Treasure, Primal Anger, Cooking, and something else that was like I needed help and I have to go and come back and clean the river later because that chick's hot.
But okay, so I walk in, get some, some brochure, border information, whatever.
Well, they have to buzz you in because he had to card in. So.
But I thought the front door was just open to the public.
Nope. No, he had to use his badge to get in.
It was a perception alertness, right? That Justin called for?
Justin is not available right now. Please hold on all your calls.
So I say we just go Krynos and throw his car through the front of this building.
Well, we gotta make sure that nothing's in it before we throw the car through the front of the building.
Oh, Sense Worm. That's the one I got. Sense Worm.
Okay.
Because I can go see if this is a warp-tated building. If this is a warp-tated building, then we throw the car.
It probably wouldn't be. Yeah,
No, it's
mages tend
mages.
mages tend not to associate with the worm.
The worm doesn't really help them and their avatar states get anywhere.
Yeah. Well, vampires don't know they're worm tainted. They don't believe. They have no way of knowing what all that stuff is. Mages do. Like one dot of spirit, and they're like, I'm not gonna mess with that. They can tell it's just like radiation.
So if
Even with a little bit of prime, they can go, I don't want to mess with that, whatever it is.
So if nothing's in this car, we're gonna chuck the car through the front window.
Yes, that's exactly our plan. Because, that's how we deal with everything. We throw things.
This is not Kira.
I know, I was about to say, I'm like, this is just like my wife's werewolf. Where's the door?
No, I'm serious. Are we actually gonna do that?
No need to fly off the hinges.
Alright. Give me that roll, Allie.
Wow, that's a shitty roll.
Wow, way to fucking go.
Yeah.
You think his phone might be under the driver's side seat.
Just like wing over. Lucas, come look at this.
Okay, now I'm gonna go walk up to the front door.
All right. Now that you're up at the front door, give me alertness perception, difficulty 6. Okay. You notice some really weird symbols. If you didn't have, if you weren't a werewolf, you wouldn't even notice these things. They look like they just might be random scratch markings or something like that. It's hard to describe what they actually look like because when you blink, they seem to change, and focusing on them too long doesn't help.
Can I roll?
Actually, intelligence occult difficulty 9. And I do use occult differently than Kirk does.
Oh, nope.
Nope, not a clue. It might just be some mage trickery to look weird and to look more intimidating than it really is.
Okay, so can I enter or do I have to be buzzed in?
You don't see a way to open up the door without keying in, but have you even tried the front door yet?
You know what? Let's try. Or look for a buzzer. If there's like an intercom, like.
No, there is an intercom right next to this place where he swiped his badge.
Did you try the door?
Everyone forgets that you can try to open the door first.
Hey, I was assuming that there was locked.
Destroying everything in the Umbra. Did you
Anyway.
try checking to see if the door was unlocked?
No.
Was I supposed to?
That's not the Garu way.
Break it first, then go. Oh.
Ethereal Research, this is Pam. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, Pam. Yeah, I'm looking for some information. I was wondering if you guys were hiring.
Oh, you would have to go to our website, etherealresearch-co.com.
Well, your website's down, and I thought I would have.
She pauses for a moment. You hear clickly, 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 click. You might want to recheck the website. It is completely up right now. Even our place where it says apply here, as a not only as a researcher but as a research subject, we do all types of research here.
Did you really think that was going to work?
This is not accepted.
She kind of believes. Anyways, thank you very much, Pam. Sorry to bother you for your time. Have a nice day. Walk back to the man.
How'd that work out?
So, something you noticed when you look through the windows as you were speaking with Pam, there seems to be only a single guard behind a small workstation. It's about a 4-foot desk across, about 2 feet wide. He didn't seem to be the one to respond to you. He seems to be having his attention at his monitors.
I think I can hit him with my bow and arrow.
I don't know how I would tell this, but can I tell if like the glass to the door is like bulletproof and like really expensive research? Like if we go full like automatic on it.
If they got mages working here, just assume that it will electrocute you to death.
You know there's a mage here.
Yeah.
Okay, let me rephrase that. You know one mage work here
That's right.
that you know about.
And there's magic mage nonsense symbols on the doors and shit. So,
Both in the physical and the spirit world.
that's right. So, for all I know, that shit says 20,000 volts. Stay away, fool.
Did he look like a corporate security guard or a private for this?
Private.
Maybe it says I like cake.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just covering up.
Welcome.
Bring donuts to back.
Gun? No gun?
Couldn't tell.
Couldn't tell? Okay.
Yell in the window. Do you have a gun?
Okay, yeah, I go back, walk like I'm going around the corner. Yeah. Just look like I belong.
Okay.
Look like you just look like you belong in the parking lot.
I'm gonna take another look. Like I came in from one side of the van going there. I'm gonna like go the other side of the car.
You take a look and give me same thing, difficulty 9.
Oh God.
Confirmation bias is absolutely true. His cell phone is under the driver's side seat.
Yep. Okay, so I tell everybody, I relay all the information that you just told me back to the person.
The driver's side seat?
Oh, and about the guard.
Okay.
Well, guard. Looked like he didn't care. He's private.
Seriously? He puts his cell phone under the driver's side seat?
Hey, I don't know. Maybe it has like a little box and probably his private photos.
Maybe a gun under the driver's side seat, but not a cell phone. I mean, unless he's trying to keep it out of the sun.
Or I would even put it in the glove department.
Yeah, because it's hotter inside a glove compartment. I mean, mine doesn't work, so it doesn't matter.
Glove compartment?
No, it's one of his dumpster. You know those things that once it open from the side, he just opens it, puts it in there.
Yes.
So both of you give me wits and you know what? Just wits difficulty 3.
I mean, Allie, are you sure it's underneath there?
100%.
All right.
Well, maybe 95%.
Hey, go back. What's going on over here?
Wits and streetwise.
Whoa.
Difficulty 3. If you don't have it, difficulty 4. And this is for Lucas and Kirk.
Oh. I was gonna say, I have.
Well, they're detecting whether or not you're right or not.
Oh.
Andrew drops.
First one to go.
No, I got no successes. It was 7, right?
No, it was 3.
Oh. So then I got 3 successes.
She might not be lying, but oh dear lord, she must be confused.
Okay, hold on.
You don't know anyone who puts their cell phone underneath their seat.
What are we just rolling? Wits?
Wits and streetwise.
Wits and streetwise?
Difficulty 3.
Yeah.
Same thing. She's probably confused. There's no one who would actually place their cell phone underneath their seat.
I mean, I've done that occasionally when I'm charging it because I don't want it available and I don't have a... You know, I can leave mine, at least with my vehicle, I can leave it charged in the car and it doesn't kill the battery. Unlike most cars, once you turn them off, you can't charge them.
Point remains.
But
Point
still,
remains. Common, everyday, average motherfuckers do not place their cell phones underneath their car seat.
No, I know.
No.
That's what I'm saying. I can, but they're like, no, most people, nah.
So, it's probably an IED. So, just-
Y'all guys want to escalate everything.
Let
We
me
have
go.
to.
Let me go take a look.
All right, here, put this hat on. You'll look less suspicious. I gave him a little trilby.
We so need to buy him a top hat.
So as you're walking by, you're doing the same thing. You're not trying to actually look in. You're trying to pass by it and look out of the corner of your eye, right?
Sure.
Or are you going to try and stealth over to it and take a good look inside?
No, I'll just walk by it. I'll just walk by it.
All right. Alertness perception, difficulty 8. There's no phone under there. Although, something you notice about that car is it's immaculate. You don't see any dust on the inside. You don't see any crumbs from like a fast food wrapper. You don't even see an Arctic cup in the cup holder. This thing is clean on the inside and on the outside.
I wonder
The-
if I could. Sorry, go ahead.
The tires are immaculate. Everything about this car makes it look like it just rolled off of the floor.
I think I could drive this.
Grand Theft Werewolf. See, there we go. The next Grand Theft Auto game. Grand Theft Auto Werewolf.
That's right.
So you steal a car, and then when the police encounter you, you shift into a werewolf, and you just start wrecking things.
That's right. That sounds fabulous.
It's a beautiful car. I mean,
It's a Mercedes. It's a very nice car.
all right.
He eventually walks back around, and the security officer who occasionally comes out and patrols the Bay Area doesn't seem to mind you at all.
Wow, this is some security.
I really want to take that car. I don't know.
And Lucas will mention. How do you mention to the? Do you just mention that she's full of shit?
Like, yeah, there was nothing under there. Like I said, I don't think anybody puts their phone underneath the car. I think you got way too much heat from the sun. Or maybe it was something the lady said when she disturbed you about not a website, or I don't know, you said something about a website.
Man.
But it's a really nice car. I think we should take it later.
You know what? Maybe we should take it now. Can I roll anything in persuade him to take it?
Persuasion. You could use the gift persuasion.
Yeah.
Let me check.
Seriously, you're gonna do that? Alright.
This is the way we roll around here. Welcome to a game that's supposed to be dark, moody, and atmospheric, and we're just gonna play Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, with a mage's car, this will not go sideways at all.
Nah, there's no, like, repercussions on a mage's car whatsoever. Mages only do things with their own hands. They don't do anything to objects.
You know, they teleport. Step through a doorway and teleport at a wardrobe. And then they're there.
So, you're gonna use persuasion on me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to see how bad this turns out.
Alright.
And Longshot's like, oh yeah, let's do it.
Alright, so give me Charisma Subterfuge, difficulty 7 for Persuasion.
Okay, hang on. Subterfuge and what?
Subterfuge and Charisma.
Well, it's only 4 dice.
Alright, how are you going to convince him to steal the car?
That is the most shiniest car ever, and you really need it. That is my
Okay, that's a weak-ass attempt, but with...
I'm horrible at it.
I'll give you another shot. Go ahead.
Give me Manipulation and Subterfuge, difficulty 6 with your Persuasion.
Oh, come on. Let him try another excuse. Come on.
And for you, Drew, Wits and let's see. We're gonna do Empathy.
That was the bad excuse. If I watch this so bad, that is the excuse I'm gonna get.
Wits and empathy.
Wits and Empathy. You're trying to detect a lie. All right, 1.
Hang on. 3, 4, 5, and difficulty 6.
Difficulty 6.
Come on, baby, don't fail.
Alrighty. God. approaching to steal the fucking car.
I'm like, no. You're right. I mean, are you sure? I mean, you know what? I could use a car like that.
Kirk?
I don't have a license.
You do have a chance to intervene on this.
Brings up your image, man.
You know what? I'll just go take a I'll just break the door. I mean, come on, it can't be that hard.
Yeah, sure it can, Lucas. Because there is no reason you need that car.
Give me manipulation and Jesus Christ, I can't believe I'm having to do this. Sorry, manipulation and how are you trying to do this? Are you trying to intimidate it? Leadership? Manipulation leader or charisma leadership.
Okay. Same dice roll. What's the diff? What's your
6. No, it's just 6. You're trying to convince him not to do something stupid.
Just one success.
Drew, how are you stealing the car?
Do I have to roll my wits versus his?
No, you already have.
Okay.
He's trying to convince you not to do something Allie has convinced you to do. She still wins by 1 success.
Gotcha.
Brings up your image, man. You go from hero to hero with the ladies.
It's really shiny. I really just want to I really do want to steal it, but at the same time, I really just want to know what's in the car.
Oh, if you want to know what's in the car, I can just open up the doors.
Yeah, that's fine, but you might find something that's a pretty nice sick ride.
I'll do a control simple machine and open the doors.
Not a problem. The doors open up, or at least the door is unlocked. Rather.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna get in it.
You got your back, man.
All right, you're inside the vehicle. What are you gonna do?
Sweet. I'm gonna start opening up the glove compartments and everything else. See what else is in there.
Inside the glove compartment is the owner's manual, his registration for the vehicle. Well, the receipt for the receipt for it, because in Texas they just give you a receipt and you put up the sticker. And his proof of insurance paper clip to it.
Should I seriously steal that?
I just threw that out. I don't know what that is. I don't drive, so I don't know what any of that stuff is.
All right.
And so that was in the glove compartment, or that was the center console?
That was the glove compartment.
What's in the center console?
Nothing.
Nothing. Are you sure?
Yes.
What's under the seat? That Allie was
So worked up about.
right. What is under that seat?
Oh god.
You hear the front door open to the to Ethereal, and the guy seems to be looking at you. He pulls his head up to his shoulder thingamabobber and is speaking into it. And then he steps back inside. You hear the magnetic locks click into place again.
I see this?
Yes.
Or did they all see it?
You all see it because the van may be parked away, but y'all can still see him. He doesn't walk out far from the building. He walks out, sees it, does something, and goes right back inside the building.
Or
And this is where you die.
Alright.
The car eats you.
Right? Yeah, I'm gonna attempt to hotwire this thing.
you told what board? I texted to him.
Okay.
You texted to me
Yep.
on my
You can't
broken
read it.
phone.
Yeah, on his broken screen phone.
Give me wits and streetwise difficulty 9.
As all you get is like AB, and you're like, absolutely awesome. Ooh, 2 successes. Nice.
It starts up. You don't know what you did right, but you got it going.
Let's go.
So you tear out.
Yeah.
Dex and drive, boy. Oh wait, you don't have drive, so it's difficulty 9.
That's all right for me.
You know what? You know what? All I got to say.
Holy shit.
I'm gone.
He tears out of there like a bat out of hell. He manages to not wreck the car as it goes over the sidewalk and the concrete bumps. I know they have a proper name. The,
Speed bumps.
well, no, it's the big cement ones that you use to park your cars at.
Oh, yeah.
As he pops over one of those and tears off down the side street. What do you two do?
I just showed you what I was doing.
I know you took pictures, but what after that?
I'm YouTubing.
I don't know where he's going.
We should follow him.
I don't know where I'm
Alright,
going
but
either, by
can
the
we?
way.
We're in a pedo van. Dude's in a Mercedes. I take the requisite 3 blocks to get up to 40 miles per hour.
I'm asking because this is about the time you hear sirens.
I know.
Well, a set of sirens, not a...
Always the time we hear sirens, isn't it?
It's when someone breaks into a car.
I know. Oh Lord.
Gilbert, are you going to remain completely focused on driving? I just gave you your last name. My bad. Lucas. Are-
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where I'm going with this thing. I'm just in this. The last thing Allie said is I needed a car, and I'm like, I'm gonna take this. I don't know where I'm going with this. I have no idea.
Oh.
I think this is my fault. Maybe we should just name it out.
What do you mean you think this is your fault? This is your fault.
Good enough for me. You're not Joel.
Who's
Yeah,
the
I'll attempt to follow him.
Lucas, you hear, you're not Joel.
Ooh, we got a name.
Oh my God, you can talk. Are you a transformer? I saw that show when I was younger. Or when it was on TV.
More akin to Kit than a transformer. Who are you?
Like Knight Rider.
Kit, yes. That's the name of the car in Knight Rider. Who are you?
David Hasselhoff.
Ha, ha, ha. Where are you taking me?
I have no idea. I don't know how to drive.
Why did you take me?
I don't know. Something just said, "You're awesome. Take it."
Well, that's beside the point, but that doesn't explain why you took me.
Yeah, cause do you not listen? I said something told me, "You're awesome. Take it."
Something. Yeah. Great answer.
Inside. You know, like
Did
inside-
you hotwire me?
Well, yeah. I don't know how to. I don't have keys.
You seem like you can barely wipe your ass. How did you hotwire me?
So I grabbed this wire here, and I grabbed this one here, and then I went, and then I kind of like whipped this one around here, and pulled them apart. And then
Give me
did-
Dex and drive. Difficulty 10 right now because you're maintaining a conversation with a talking car.
That guy,
Oh my god!
And that's what I did. I just got. I saw it in this MacGyver thing where he went, and then boom. And then
Man Bunny, what is up, my man? Welcome to the channel. The
so
The
what
car-
you wanna do?
I want to go back to my owner. He takes care of me.
I can take care of you. What do you want? You want like a wash job?
You broke into my panel and you started fiddling with my wires.
I can tighten it back up and put it back in there. That's fine by me.
You seem mechanically inclined. What are you... Kirk, give me Dex and Drive. Difficulty 6. Do you start slowing down, by the way, Drew?
No, I'm in the conversation. My foot's on the accelerator. I don't know. It's like, I'm just like,
Okay.
phone. I'm talking to a car.
As you go to turn the van back on, you accidentally flood the engine. You'll have to give it a moment.
Allie, get out and start pushing this bitch.
Are you a spirit like Kurt always is talking about? And he's all
No,
like-
I'm a car.
So you're like a spirit car.
No, I'm a car. I'm the AI in the car.
Oh, this guy can make it.
So like Knight Rider.
Kit.
Yeah, what did that stand for? I never actually watched the show.
I don't know. He talks about it.
Do you have internet?
I do happen to have internet. That's why the GPS has been going since you hot-wired me by breaking into my panel and tearing my wires apart. Give me another Dex and Drive, Kirk. Give me a Dex and Drive, Lucas. Difficulty... Are you actually slowing down, letting off the gas pedal, or are you just keeping it floored?
I'm floored.
Difficulty 10 for you again.
I'll start pushing.
Yeah, we're gonna need all the help we can get. Cause
With her pushing, it does give you a success. You're able to push start the car. The van.
There it is.
All right, give me a stamina roll.
We found our information, though.
As I ask her, I'm like, hey, I need you to call Allie and tell her where am I going.
like the car just knows. Just call the car Bumblebee all the time, no matter what.
All right, Drew. You do not get knocked unconscious, but you have taken 3 levels of bashing damage.
Hurry up, Kurt.
As you not only ram into a light pole, the engine is almost wrapped around the pole. What do you do?
Is the engine still alive?
No!
You murdered this car. You murdered electronics,
You're going 120 miles an hour, and you slammed into a light pole.
I don't know how to drive. Is the dash okay? Like the front of it?
No! The
Any-
car is wrecked. It crumpled nicely. You're alive.
What about the CD player? Is that broken too?
Yes.
Okay. Just
Because
checking.
part of it's wrapped around your neck.
Oh.
It's, you know.
Have you ever seen when an engine gets popped back into the cab of a vehicle?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what this looks like. That's what wrapping around a pole looks like. The engine has been broken away from its braces, shoved into the cab of the car, and you're lucky to be alive. If you are not a werewolf, this would all be lethal damage, and it would be at a difficulty 4 instead of a difficulty 6. You're a werewolf. You survive. If the mage was in the vehicle and this just happened, he would be dead.
Okay.
What are you going to do?
Can I see anything in the rearview mirror?
You see flashing lights, but around you there is a little bitty park. It's one of the walking trails we have around San Antonio. So it has some slightly wooded areas to it. There's a dog park and there's like a couple of kiddie parks type of thing. So there's some slide, jungle gym, and monkey bars. To the other side of this, it's more buildings like ethereal research. They look kind of boxy. They all seem to have a gated. Most of them have a gated bay area for delivery. So some of these are probably research. Some of these are probably like designer stores.
All right. I'm gonna look in the rear
Thank
view
you.
mirror and go into the Umbra.
Thank you. The milkshake.
Should leave a note that says, "Give us back our heart."
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. How do I leave that?
Don't write it down.
On what? I don't have a pen.
No, there might be a pen somewhere.
There's plenty of pieces of metal around this thing.
That is true. I'm gonna take the metal and I'm gonna carve it into the engine block.
All right. Give me a strength roll.
How much space do I have?
This is a nice size engine. You have plenty of space.
Cool. I'm gonna go Krynos.
Still, give me a strength roll.
I know. What is the strength in Krynos?
Give
I
us
need
some effing hurt back.
I need a lot of strength to do this. So 7.
Or more destruction will come.
Yeah, that's a good question, Mazzy. Why does he hate cars?
When he was a young child, a car took away the ones that he loved.
2. I got 2.
You managed to scrape out, we want heart back.
I'm not a very good speller either, apparently. Or
You can actually see the physical cars of the cops now.
Okay. Now I'm gonna go in the Umbra.
Give me difficulty 7.
I'm not going to
What
willpower.
do I roll?
Straight gnosis.
Grace Gnosis? Sorry, excuse me, people.
We know you're not sorry. Don't even try.
No, I didn't mean it. Okay.
Not a problem. You slip away into the Umbra before the cops get there.
There's
It's-
some very pissed off patterned spiders in the Umbra.
Now that you're in the Umbra and you're taking a look at his car, Kirk's analysis is actually quite apt. There are several spiders that seem to be small but plentiful that seem to be very frustrated that its vehicle is destroyed. After that, you see one spider seem to crawl out. It seems to be made of electricity. You can't tell exactly. Hop up onto the pole and seem to ride the electrical surge away from you.
Grab it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna grab it because I can't. It's electricity.
No, you just don't have the time to. You see it, but it's gone.
It's gone. It like just hopped out and.
Yeah, it crawls out. Once it crawls out, it just hops up onto the light pole, which in this area is doubling as a power cable.
Okay.
Jumps onto the power cable and it's gone before you can see it. Kirk and Allie, as you pull around to this place, you see the cops they've cordoned off the actual vehicle. And they seem to be redirecting traffic. What do you do?
Can I scan the Umbra for him?
Yes, and it's not a problem. Again, y'all are taking 10s with Pulse of the Invisible. You see him definitely in the Umbra.
I'm wandering over to the park.
Nice disco light.
Bow chicka bow wow. It's getting all red light up in there. Now I'm somber.
Now I'm like, well, the cop cars don't know I'm there. I could jump in the cop car, come back through the Umbra, and take that one. But I'm not going to. I'm just kidding.
You are free to do it. You are free to do anything you want to do. I've always maintained I'm not going to railroad you as much as possible.
I know. I don't really need it. I was only wanting to take that car.
You see, after a minute or two, as you just kind of begin to wander around in the shallow part of the park, the van pulls around. And what is the van doing? Are y'all pulling into the park? Are y'all stopping around?
Oh, we'll pull into the park. I mean,
Look like we belong.
You see the van pull into the park.
Pedophile van in a park.
Well, right now, even though we're calling it a pedophile van, just white panel vans are not uncommon.
That's true.
Although in Texas, it's more likely to see an F-250. Panel vans are still very common.
I take it their paint is somewhat decently new. It's not rusted over.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
But you notice the van pull up.
Are we allowed to talk as we are in the Umbra?
you can't communicate back and forth.
That's one reason I'm like, oh, we can peek. Can we talk? Each other back and forth.
I don't think so.
Alright, I'm gonna get into the van. I think I can.
You're the Umbra?
You think you can do a lot of shit right now.
And find the rear view mirror in the van to come out of.
Not a problem. Again, it's not a problem. You're able to get in just fine.
So, how was your ride?
Is dead.
What do you mean it's dead?
It's over there.
Yeah, but you called the car it. Why didn't you just say the car is dead?
Oh, cause it's a talking car. Its name is crap. What was the name of that movie?
If it's a talking car, did it say who the person was? Anything details, man? Detail.
Oh yeah. It is looking for Hasselhoff, and I am no.
Okay, do I know that he's talking about Knight Rider?
Not offhand. Give me a straight intelligence roll.
Wait, something's not right.
Knight Rider is no longer common vernacular amongst teenagers.
Difficulty?
Difficulty is going to be 8. You are a popular person tonight.
I am indeed.
Who's this group guy?
Okay, so you mean David Hasselhoff? Because if it was a talking car, it was probably named Kit.
Yeah. No, it's like Kit, but its name was Null.
Wait. So the car's name was Null?
And I'm Hasselhoff.
How hard did you hit your head?
Hold on. Oh, I was going really, really fast.
Yes, you were.
While y'all are talking in character, let's go ahead and take a quick break. I have to use the restroom.
I mean, seriously, you see how fast I smashed that thing? Oh, she was mad.
So it wasn't Kit. Then who's the other? You said that her name was Kit. Then who was that? Who was the owner? Like, details, man. Details.
Like I said, she was the car, and I was Hasselhoff, and she was Knight Rider.
God.
And,
Is there a way where you can, like,
and
extract, like,
she-
his brain matter to, like, find
and
it?
she
I got a
She
saw in the back of the car. You know?
and she was mad because I pulled off her top. I messed with her wires, and I'm stupid.
So you think out of all that excursion from a talking car, you did not get the owner's name?
Oh no! Wait till Justin comes back. Is that your printer in the background?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah. Actually, started it back up. So I'm building LED strip clips to hold LED strips.
So
Yeah.
why is it blue in the background?
Because he can change the color of the light bulb.
Mm-hmm. So,
Desires within the 5 or 6 colors.
this is something I created on my own, my little cogwheel cavalry.
That's cool. Was that for your steampunk?
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
advertising the stuff you can make on Twitch.
Yeah.
Time to get a business name going.
Yeah, well, got to be careful. Some of this stuff, like the intellectual property owners, go hardcore after.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I can't be selling none of my Warhammer stuff because those people will be showing up at my door with lawyers.
And warhammers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, your choice. We can sue you, or you can fight us.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, this is Texas. You brought a hammer to the wrong damn house.
So is it true in Texas, like if you own private property out in the country, you can like physically bring out a shotgun and tell people, "Yo, get off my property."
You can do that anywhere.
Yeah.
Texas. Texas has a Texas. So Texas is what there. We don't have a castle doctrine or a stand your ground or any of that. Texas has basically, you have the right to defend yourself anywhere. So your property is considered your property if you are in a location that you are lawfully allowed to be or something that you own. So if I'm in my car, that's why I can carry a gun in my car without having a concealed carry permit, because that's considered my property, my home.
Hey,
So,
get out there!
so I carry a 45 in a glove box. I don't believe in paying for a concealed carry license. It actually, surprisingly enough, Texas didn't have open or concealed carry until recently. You could carry a long gun around, no problem, but not handguns. You could carry a handgun in your car, but cops could give you crap about it. They actually had to change the laws because a dude got shot up by the cops for having a gun in his car, and there was no reason for the cops to shoot him up, but the cops didn't know that it was legal for him to have a gun in his car. So they changed the law back in 2002. It's called like the Motor Vehicle Safety Act, where you can, as long as you're not brandishing it or causing people to be weirded out, you can have a gun in your car with no issue. Texas also has written into the laws that you can kill someone to get your property back. If you take a penny from me, I can shoot you to get it back. And you can shoot people if they're committing crimes, especially after dark. And it doesn't have to be murder or rape or anything. If you see someone doing graffiti in the state of Texas, you can kill them because they're committing a crime after dark.
So
Like I said, especially.
in Texas.
Huh?
How popular are bounty hunters?
Bounty hunting is illegal in Texas.
Yeah.
You have what are called bail enforcement people. It's actually against the law to dress up like you're tactical as a bail enforcement person. Bounty hunters. So Texas has done a lot of things to try and shake off its Wild West image because it's unpopular. It doesn't draw business. There are lots of laws still on the books that are holdovers from the Old West, but that's just the way it is. Like cattle rustling is still, you can hang someone or shoot someone for that, obviously, but it's a hanging offense still in Texas. But bounty hunting, you can do bounty hunting, You can't wear a badge, can't wear big old bulletproof vests, dress in black with a helmet like you see in other states. It's just against the law. They'll arrest you for that. And only people that are licensed PIs can get away with doing bounty hunting work in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't get a PI license without having gotten it from a security company. So there's a lot of Wild West things, like I said, in Texas, but there's a bunch where they've just been like, nope, 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 nope. Like that's the way it is. You know?
Last time I checked, to have a PI's license, you have to have at least a concealed carry permit as well, which means you have to fingerprint with the federal government. And a lot of these so-called bounty hunters don't like to do that because they like to live. I like to live on the edge of the law, man. Ain't no government gonna keep me down. Hey, here's a prisoner I caught for you guys. Throw this asshole back in jail.
Or do you have like a sheriff?
Hmm?
Is it called the sheriff in Texas or a police chief of police?
Oh, so sheriffs in Texas are county sheriffs. They have authority over. So they have authority over unincorporated areas in a county. Cities have police.
Yeah.
And generally, it's actually kind of funny because here in Bexar County, I think they're at 11 now. 11.
Hi, Coyote, by the way. Sorry.
11, sheriff's deputies have been arrested. They just arrested one this morning for drunk driving. They don't get along. Like, Bexar County and SAPD hate each other's guts because the first line of people to investigate Metropolitan Police are your county sheriffs. Typically, the county sheriff will call in the Texas Rangers because the Texas Rangers have ultimate authority over any law enforcement in Texas. So, like, if you think, like, your dude in narcotics is stealing stuff, you would call the county sheriffs because there's nobody, like, the idea is they don't have friends on the sheriff's department. There's no cross work. And then if the sheriff's department doesn't think it can accurately investigate something, they call the Texas Rangers, and that actually throws a big wrench in everything. Because the Texas Ranger come up to any law enforcement person and just be like, I'm in charge, and they can't do anything about it. Like, Texas Ranger doesn't have to get any kind of approval or permits, but there's also not a lot of Texas Rangers anymore. Texas Rangers also have, by Constitution, Texas Constitution, the authority to leave Texas to bring people back to Texas. And that is not an authority recognized by anyone else. It's just something that Texas Rangers do. Which means if they're not friends with wherever they're going, they're breaking the law. They're technically breaking the law anyway. Texas Rangers will also go into Mexico in pursuit of criminals, which is horribly against their laws. But it's Texas Rangers ability, like it's stuff that they've been empowered and enshrined with from the very beginning. Of course, they also...
Real quick, Burner, thank you for following the channel. I do not know why the alert did not come up.
The other reason is Texas Ranger badges used to be made out of silver pesos, which they would get by going into Mexico and shooting a Mexican cop.
All right, so we're going to pick back up where we left off. The police seem baffled as you watch them begin to cordon off this area. They look confused because no one should have been able to survive this accident.
Yeah, they're looking for a body. That's what they're looking for.
And Tamazi, I figured the Weaver spirit giving the finger was kind of a joke, so I'm sorry I didn't answer that. And I don't think any of us in here has killed a man just to watch him die. I think we've all had legitimate reasons to kill the men we've killed. Now, just because I have well-fed hogs at one point in my life does not mean anything else.
Is that a personal question? Because I was gonna say I never, I don't even. My laws are way different. Because that was going on what we were discussing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Sure, go ahead, tell us what you got, eh?
Oh God, are we seriously going about this A thing?
That's what Bob and Doug McKenzie taught me.
You know, serious. Okay, so I'm gonna go off on a tangent here. No. No, but we have to go through a shit ton of laws just to own a gun. Never mind purchase a gun.
Dude.
You gotta get a PAL, could only be so big. We have to like lock it up in a box. We were only allowed to have certain sort of amount of ammo.
Man, if it wouldn't get Justin stream pulled, I would just be like, here, take a look at all these. Like, guns are fun.
And
But,
there's no
yeah.
more Texas Rangers because all their avatars were devoured.
No, they weren't.
So, as you begin to take a look around, y'all are looking around, and they don't seem to be looking for a person who walked away. They're looking for blood, and they don't seem to be finding any.
Good luck. So yeah, what's the dude's name? The owner of the car. Let's go, buddy. Come on.
Y'all know the owner of the guy's name. You were told this. It was Joel.
Oh, I was trying to
Joel Smithers.
trying to get roleplay out of him.
I know, and I told you. No, the car says she was mad at me because I opened up and I took out her
I'm
wires.
gonna look up Joel.
And I said I'm David Hasselhoff and she is Knight Rider.
I'm gonna look up this Joel guy on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, MySpace. You know, just creep him.
Limited profile. The only thing it has that's really prevalent is that it does indicate that he is currently able to be found at Ethereal Research Company.
Send him a Twitter or twit. Bummer to your car, bro. Guess you shouldn't have taken stuff that doesn't belong to you.
Well, you already left a message on the engine block.
I
so-
know.
Or what's left of the engine block.
Okay.
Which I'm sure is going to be very weird if when the police read that report.
Yeah.
Give us back the heart.
About 5 minutes later, as y'all are watching this unfold, someone drops off Joel Smithers at the accident.
Now's a good time. We should go take him.
With any police.
Just go really take him hostage. Watch them all run. Scatter like flies.
That would not be good.
Yeah, that wouldn't work out at all.
That's
Right now, there are 2 cops there, 1 mage and 1 unknown.
I don't like that unknown.
I don't like that there's cops and mages.
We could take him. It was only one mage.
That we see.
And he ran like a bitch. That's
Oh my lord. Wow, what tribe are you again?
Did Alexa just come back?
Right. Hey Alexa, get a grip.
still ran.
Speaking of, give me a willpower roll, difficulty 8, please.
Woohoo. Current or normal?
Always current.
What do you think? I left a message. I left a message on the block.
You maintain control.
That's what I tell Dyson. I left a message on the block.
That's good. That's good. Now they know to respect and fear us.
So what do we do? What's the next game plan?
Well, now I think we wait and see what sort of retaliation we're gonna get out of this, cause I don't think this dude's gonna be too happy.
Should we wait here or should we leave?
That's a good question.
They are really not paying attention because, based on the accident, no one's expecting to see a body. They're looking around to see someone have been carted away, or blood, or drag tracks.
Watch the show.
Yeah, we'll watch and see what happens.
How long do y'all wait?
I don't know what, hour, maybe 2 hours.
Okay.
Well, forensics, man. Don't be
We
right.
ain't gonna wheel out forensics for a car.
So it takes about half an hour. The police have taken plenty of pictures of this place, the accident, the tire tracks, everything that you would normally expect to see. A truck picks up the car and takes it away. It takes about 15 minutes for them to get it where they can completely remove it safely. without damaging the pole. And it drives away. It takes, presumably, back up to the office because you hear it go, turn back around, and head back up the hill. The cops leave after taking more pictures of what was left on the ground after the my God, I can't remember what the name of those trucks are. Tow truck. After the tow truck picks up the car and drives away.
Big boy, tall boy, whatever you call him.
Okay, so what? We wait a week?
A week? We're just gonna sit here in the park for like.
Well, right now it's just before lunch.
Ooh.
I think we should go get something to eat.
I think so too. We've had way too much pizza lately.
Okay, now the question is, which way are y'all gonna go to get lunch?
Super salad.
I could go for a salad. Salad?
Are y'all gonna keep going the way that the road was heading, or are you gonna go back up the hill towards the
We'll go back up the hill towards the research place.
Yeah.
Okay, as you get back up the hill, you realize it is dead noon, and you see Joel and a few colleagues come out of the building. They carpool into about 3 vehicles, and they leave.
Let's follow them. That seems like a great idea.
What about salad? We'll get it on later.
Hey, whatever restaurant they're going to, we can just walk right in.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
As they're going to our house to kick our ass.
So
That's what they're doing at lunch, is kicking our ass.
they go to Panda Express.
Oh! Panda Express.
And no, I'm not advertising for them, and I'm not saying that I am unwilling to be sponsored by them, but Panda Express, if you're listening, you have a new location right by where I live. I will eat there more often if you sponsor me.
Not after we're through with this plan.
Yeah. You're gonna be like, why our panda broken?
They all park, they get out, and they go inside, and they begin to get in line and place their orders. What are you guys doing while you're in the parking lot?
Now we
I'm gonna go inside and place an order.
Yeah, I agree.
Are you right behind them?
Yes!
Yep.
All right.
No.
Oh my god. How are
What?
the werewolves still alive?
Okay. So, are y'all trying to remain hidden?
Well, I mean, as much as our dumbasses can.
Yeah.
So, Kirk, what do you think about this place, hey?
I like Panda Express. The spirits here are very friendly.
So, are y'all actively trying to remain hidden? That's the question.
I think I blew it. Wait,
I think I'm gonna get some chow mein and some Mongolian beef.
All right.
We're not gonna go out of our way to be all like we're behind our cloaks in the shadowy corners of this place.
He notices you guys. He's about the 5th person in line of the group. And you see him reach into his pocket, pull out a cell phone. He types out a message and puts it up. And then he turns back around to his friends and he continues having it, or his coworkers, and he continues to have a conversation with them about just like nonsense stuff.
As we all have strokes.
is he pointing the message at us, or?
No, he texted someone.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
like I
take
said,
my-
we're
I'm
about to
gonna
all
take-
have strokes.
I don't like his look. I'm gonna take out my phone. I'm gonna take a picture of him.
And then I'll take a picture of Lucas taking a picture of him.
Wow.
He doesn't seem to react to it.
Two can play that game.
I like how he flips his phone shut.
Do y'all order like you normally order food?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So it's like I order like 3 whole meals.
I'll just take a salad.
They don't have salads at Panda Express.
Whatever.
You get just vegetables, but yeah.
Yeah. It's
Give me that
Panda
bowl of
Express.
chow mein. She's paying. Give me that bowl of chow mein.
You were a fan, I thought.
Yeah,
Either way, y'all get through the line, y'all sit down, y'all enjoy y'all's meal. You all wrap up around the same time on eating. I'm assuming follow them back to the employer. So when you go back, are you trying to actually stay hidden, or are you just not giving a fuck at this point?
I don't, I don't know. At this point, I'm hoping that he got the message and he understands that we'll be wherever he is. We'll wave to him as we drive by.
Yep, drive by the parking lot.
Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna give middle fingers. Just. Ugh.
No, that's impolite. I mean,
mean.
we don't have to be rude about the fact that, we're going to wear his skin for hats.
Okay. Do y'all wait around to the end of the day?
Yeah.
Yell out the window.
Just.
Oh,
Oh, he definitely stole the car.
All right. So everyone in this office seems to all leave at 6:30 promptly on the dot. You notice that he does have the briefcase when he leaves today.
Somebody yell out to him, does he need a ride?
I don't have a card.
We call you a cab?
He gets into a car with an older looking gentleman.
Oh god, we are so good. We're gonna pay for this on so many levels.
No, the question is, what do you do next?
I think we should keep following him.
We need to take that older gentleman's car and then crash that too.
Lucas, take that car.
Oh lord.
So, because Kirk's driving,
Thank God.
they seem to be taking a slower time getting home. Like, the speed limit is 45, but they're going 40.
I'm hoping for a stiff wind to help us keep up in the shitmobile.
Oh no, the van's fine, so you're keeping up. It's not an issue.
Just start honking at him. Flashing your lights and your brights.
He turns into Now, here's the question: do you follow him all the way into Alamo Heights?
No.
All right.
We'll stop right at the outside by the Papa John's.
So before you get into Alamo Heights city limits,
Oh, that's different.
you see a police car waiting just around the intersection where you would be coming past.
Turn around. Pull that U-turn.
Yeah, everybody look forward. Be as white as you can be.
Ram that police.
You're just driving through?
Yeah.
I told him to turn around.
Dude, you don't pull a Yui in front of a cop.
Alright, as you pass by, the lights do flick on, and he is right up on your ass.
I don't know what these people are doing, but I'm in the Umbra.
That looks like a great idea.
That's the van just crashes and no one's in it.
Literally?
What do y'all think?
Yep. I agree with that.
Actually, you know what?
You go in the Umbra and like Lucas is like, ah!
No, you know what we're gonna do? We'll pull over, and we'll see what he wants, and if he seems like a douche, then when he goes to run our IDs, then we'll go into the Umbra and confuse the crap out of him.
Okay. So you pull into a parking lot, you get off the road. It's the same cop who actually pulled you over in the neighborhood.
His ass too.
My, oh my, oh my. What a surprise.
How's it going, officer? Whatever your name is?
Vintelli,
I had given him a name. Officer is fine.
Tomlinson.
Officer, how are me out today?
Well, I heard, and mind you, this just might be a rumor, that one of my residents' car got stolen today. Would you know anything about that?
Meow, meow, meow. That's horrible.
Yep. Very terrible.
May I see your driver's license and your insurance, please.
That's no problem. It's right over my house, so let me get it.
Okay, I'll be right back. My dog wants something.
Okay.
I'm going with the party, staying silent.
All right, so we give up Allie to the. I'll hand over the stuff.
Okay. He walks back to the car as he normally would do. Now, do you actually shift over to the Umbra?
No, like I said, if he gets all kajiggity, he hasn't gotten kajiggity yet.
He comes back. You know, I know this is a new vehicle for you, but you should really check your taillights. Both of them were shattered to pieces, amazingly enough. I don't know how they sold it to you. I'm still going to have to write you a ticket. And it seems like your insurance, they said that you don't have any right now. You might want to get that checked out.
Well, that's pretty. I'm so appreciative for all your hard work.
And he gives you over a very hefty $2,000 ticket. You boys get home safely now. And he walks back to the cop car and drives off.
We'll follow him back to his house.
Give me alert, perception and awareness.
What? You don't think that's a good idea?
So, are you going to take a look at the ticket?
Yeah.
This thing is full of arcane symbols on it.
So, 3. Nope.
Was that intelligence cult?
No, you said perception and awareness.
Okay, yeah. Drew, perception awareness.
Oh, both of us? Okay.
Yes. Arcane symbols don't mean nothing if there's no power behind it.
That is correct.
Perception.
Difficulty 6, boy. Just because I'm in a sheriff move, I want to call everyone boy.
1.
Yeah, there's power on that paper. Do you actually read it, Kirk?
What do we do with it?
No. I don't think I'm gonna. Because this seems to me like some kind of Neverland bullshit. Where it doesn't work unless you read this shit. Anol Nathran Uspel Diel Dienver.
Do you want me to just eat it?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, you're actually going to eat it?
Yeah, he just gave it to me. I'm like, whatever, we don't do tickets.
For the briefest of moments, you can actually see inside your own stomach.
Oh, son.
Whoa!
Hey, dude, you should get those polyps checked.
Give me a willpower roll,
Oh,
Lucas.
God, it's gross.
This particular talent was not to be meant to do this, so we're spitballing here.
He's like, why does the
Why does Drew do shit?
Because Lucas is just chilling, man. I got 1 success.
You feel the intense urge to vomit, but you hold it down. Gain 1 gnosis.
Nice.
He essentially ate Taz.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a good thing, man.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's not.
Wait till that comes out your butt.
I'm gonna set things on fire.
All right.
Alright.
So you see that he gets dropped off at his home. The other car that was driving was a Mercedes. It drives off out of Alamo Heights. And this is about the time that you get done with the cop. And we're talking about the township of Alamo Heights, not just the that particular neighborhood in there. And for anyone watching who knows San Antonio, I'm being a little inspecific on purpose. And that's mostly because I don't want to actually try to frame entirely real communities in a very, very poor light. Although it would not surprise me if Alamo Heights was full of wizards and fucking vampires.
Depends on what part of Austin Highway. I used to live in Alamo Heights.
Go back to my previous statement. about a vampire living in Alamo Heights.
I ain't no vampire. I'm a damn member of the Inquisition. Inquisition, let's begin. Inquisition, look out, sin.
So what do you do now that you see the car going the other way and this guy has been dropped off in his home?
Hey, Lucas, you want that car too? No.
Oh my god, you guys suck.
Lucas!
I don't think it's some kind of wizard car though, so. You know what I think we should do? I think we should find one of these tent and alarm places and have them install the kit light in the grill of this van. So that when we're following this guy around,
Yes, I like
I
that
think-
idea.
I
Who's
think
it?
that would be awesome. So we're over by Austin Highway. There's like 5 or 6 places that'll do it. We'll go by
Dozen?
one of those places.
5 or 6 dozen places?
Yeah, we should do it. Who's Kit, by the way?
Kit?
Yeah.
That was the name of the spirit that lived in Hasselhoff's car.
I knew it was the spirit car trying to tell me I'm a car. No, you're not. You're a fucking.
No, Car
spirit.
was his enemy.
Does Kirk have any technology or science?
Yes.
Give me intelligence and technology.
I am a glasswalker, even though I pretend to be an Iron Rider.
Thank you for the follow, Silly Goo. Or, not the follow, the host. We appreciate it.
What's the difference?
Host is when someone sends their viewers over to watch our content.
Ah, okay, cool.
There. 3 successes.
More than likely, it was just a sophisticated AI. It probably wasn't a spirit.
Spirits.
AI, spirit, it's all honestly the same thing. Because in glasswalker cosmology, AIs are spirits.
They tell you it's going to take about 3 days to get it installed.
3 days? I think we could do this on our own. I'm like Lucas, trash to treasure this up.
Well, they're...
You got it.
Stopped by the refrigerator and I got hot dogs.
So, are y'all going to do it yourself?
Yes!
Dex-
We're gonna wait no 3 days. That's harassing time that we're missing out on.
Okay, so dexterity and crafts on whoever has crafts.
I got crafts.
Are we egging his house?
No, they're installing a Cylon bar on the fucking van.
I'm gonna spend a point of willpower on this.
Okay. Difficulty 6. This isn't a hard installation, but you know how mothers when window tint can be. They can be busy.
That's true. Alright, so that will give me 2 successes.
2 successes.
3 and 1 successes. Oh. 2. Oh yeah, you're right. 2 and 2. Y'all managed to get it installed in about 6 hours.
Alright, cool. Allie's like, this is boring! Shut
Yo.
up and hand me a socket wrench!
Y'all realize y'all have been awake for about 48 hours at this point.
That's cool. We'll finish. So that would be. It'll be about midnight, 1 o'clock when we finish. We'll take a nap, and we know what time this guy goes to work. So we'll take a nap, grab some coffee in the morning, and start it all over again.
Alright, so as you pull back around into this place, do you repair the actual taillights as well?
Yes.
Alrighty then. As you pull in through Alamo Heights again, you get pulled over again by the same cop.
Wait, why are we pulling into Alamo Heights?
To follow this guy to work.
He will look at you and go, Mr. Dyson, I thought I asked you to get your taillights fixed. If you'd mind stepping out of the vehicle for me real quick.
Sure.
And he will... You notice that, of course, as per police procedure, his gun is actually unclipped. You know what the type of restraint I'm called. It has a name. It goes over the a trigger guard, basically. That's popped off as per standard procedure for a pullover in Texas. Because everyone's fucking armed in the state. And you see the taillights, even though he just walked right up to the vehicle, are both popped out busted. Now, I'm going to have to write you another ticket, and this time it's going to be a serial offense, so it's going to go up in its cost. And right there, he doesn't even check your paperwork. He just writes out the ticket, hands it to you. Now, if y'all would be so kind as to do me a favor, is get those fixed. I don't want to have to pull you over for again.
I know it's very unsettling. You know, you would think that this little city here would be safe, but it's all right. I truly appreciate all your hard work.
I'm sure you do. Have a great day.
Can his magic outdo trash versus trash over treasure?
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so you know how Forces mages can just increase gravity and do shit like that?
Yeah.
They can also increase electricity so much to the point where the lights burst. And that's exactly what this looks like. It looks like it is overloaded with a lot more power than it should be able to generate in order to pop these things out.
I just didn't know if trash treasure was,
No, Kirk notices this because he has technology 1. There's no way those little light bulbs are supposed to be able to generate that much power to explode in the way that they have.
I give you the ticket to eat.
Do you eat another ticket? Give me a willpower roll.
Alright.
Oh dear God.
Why am I eating these?
Difficulty 7 now.
Okay, why am I eating these? I mean, the last one made me a little sick, but I feel good.
Yeah. There you
Again, roll that roll. Alright, you're fine.
Roll something.
Gain another point of gnosis.
Oh my god, I'm gonna be like... I need to talk to the spirits now!
So, I'll tell him. So, when he pulls us over again tomorrow, I think this officer is gonna vanish.
Okay. Where?
Into a processor.
Fair enough. I like that idea.
So, you notice that because y'all can just barely see over the gate with the way the buildings are structured. You see at 7:30, he walks out of his house. There's a car waiting for him. As you follow him out of Alamo Heights, he arrives exactly at work at 7:55.
Seriously, the motherfucker just give us back the heart. It'll all be done.
We'll make sure to play the Knight Rider theme song really, really loud.
After we drive by and get out of that car.
You mean after I yell at him, Knight Rider sucks.
That's right.
Give me a dexterity and a drive roll, sir.
All right.
Difficulty is only 6 because you're trying to tell some Uber driver you're not trying to chase down a cop or anything. You don't have a problem. Your music is bumping loud.
That's right.
We're this guy.
You should let me drive.
No.
The Uber driver drops him off at work at 7:55 on the dot. He badges himself in, goes inside.
Actually, before he goes in, I'm gonna go Panda Express again.
He doesn't even acknowledge you.
That's all right. He doesn't have to. We are getting inside his head.
I'm gonna call out. You call us for the lunch date, or we call you for.
What? I didn't hear what you had said.
I said, you want to call us for the lunch date, or do we call you? You got paid
Have your people call our people.
Got plenty of room in the car.
So what are y'all going to do from here?
So we'll we'll go like watch a movie or something till lunch. I mean, basically at this point, tactically, this is all I can think of to do is to basically harass this guy. Watch, this guy has nothing to do with none of this. He's just like, I don't know what's going on.
12 o'clock exactly. He walks out the door with his other colleagues. They head off. Super salad today.
All right, so we'll follow them.
You find out.
You know
he's
what?
not even a mage.
You know what? I think while between then and now, we should go get outfits just like his. I think that's what we should do.
And dedicate them.
No, we're not gonna dedicate nothing, man.
Wow.
We go to we go to Goodwill. We get the outfits, and even with the little badges.
I love it.
And
I
then
can do
you know,
costume dress-ups.
yeah, you know.
Here we go.
God, we're gonna get so charged with harassment on so many levels.
What if we don't directly do anything to him? We're just having lunch.
Look,
In
yeah,
a free
look at-
country.
I'm gonna like if Yeah.
You sound like a stalker. I'm just here having lunch. I didn't know you were
Dude,
going to be here.
This is actually what's called gang stalking, is what we're doing. It's where, you know, the next step is we're going to start breaking into his house and moving shit around
If we can.
without him knowing.
Or just break into his house and do nothing. Maybe put things in there.
No, but that's what I mean, is like we'll put pictures of us like in the middle of his family pictures. Or we'll like Photoshop us into his family pictures.
We're committing crimes and we're showing that we're the ones doing it.
It's not a crime to be in the background of a picture.
So,
How do you go to some of the cops and be like, I know they weren't there that day?
that heart, right? Jeez, that pendant heart.
Oh,
I'm yelling that.
no, like I said, we'll go to lunch and we'll just be like, oh man, God, that's a lot of work, staying up all night.
We should just make pictures of the heart and like tons and tons and just put it all over his house.
Yeah,
Have you seen this?
we'll start putting signs up in the neighborhood.
Of him. Have you seen this man?
We'll put like sex offender signs all over the neighborhood.
Alright, we're going a little too far, so...
We're going a little too far.
No, I mean like we're way off topic. Okay, so basically we're just gonna keep harassing.
So for today, you're still harassing him by following him to lunch.
Yes. With his outfit on.
Mhm.
And I am loudly. So that pendant heart, guys, man, my grandmother loved that pendant heart.
She
No.
did.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Pendant heart. I could be talking about a necklace.
She did. It was kind of like that scene in Titanic when that old bitch threw it overboard, man. It was very touching.
Oh man, those robbers. Whew.
I wouldn't know. I was stoned out of my gourd on that one.
Oh, like you were like watching Knight Rider, right?
Yeah. What
It's
was
a
that
crazy
card?
train.
Alrighty then. So they go back to work.
All right.
6:30 on the dot. They walk out the door. He still has his silver case in hand. He gets into the car with the older gentleman again. When they're about halfway there, before Alamo Heights, he steps out. He has a silver briefcase. He leaves it leaning up against the fence, gets back into the car, and goes.
We're pull up to it, grab that bitch, and hope it's not some kind of bomb. Open it up. Come on, Lucas.
What? Fine. I open it up.
He drove him down.
It's gonna hurt. Yeah. It's gonna hurt like hell.
116 levels of damage to me.
Everyone roll soak.
Oh, I knew it.
Wait. Who's in breed form? Kirk and Allie are, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh. Lucas, you can roll to avoid damage on this.
Yeah, I can. Not by much, but you know, yeah.
Oh. I did not figure that was going to work. Drew, you take 6 levels of aggravated damage.
Ouch.
Kirk and Allie, roll rage.
Alright. I'll my 2 dice.
Well, you've just taken damage, so +1.
I got 1 dice.
Then you have 2 at the moment. Roll 1 more die, Kirk.
Blown up.
What?
Just out of curiosity.
What was the question?
Can one instant shift while they're being blown up?
No,
Okay,
you're taken by surprise.
gotcha. That's cool.
Of all the
And that is where our pack ends.
he has one. No, I'm sorry. He's dead too because he's taken several levels of aggravated damage.
I've taken 1, 2.
Oh no, you only took 6 levels of aggravated damage.
6.
You're alive.
Yeah, and I can use primal anger and get 3 rage and avenge them.
Resist pain doesn't count for this.
Shit.
Yeah, no.
No, Lucas is alive, and if you'd like, you can rage heal too.
Me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I'll rage heal.
Oh, you've just seen 2 fallen comrades go down. That's 2 extra points of rage you have right now.
Along with like 6 extra points of freaking gnosis.
You have 2 extra points of gnosis right now.
I'm just gonna, you know what? Alright, I'm gonna go after that car.
Yes, Mozzie. That did not expect to work. I figured they would be more scared of that briefcase than anything just for him to leave it behind.
I figured it was a bomb. That's why I gave it to Lucas.
You guys suck. Lucas thought it was the heart.
I did too, but you never know.
Lucas, are you going to roll your rage?
Yeah, what do I roll?
Just rage. Difficulty 6. I think it's 6.
Yeah, it's difficulty 6. The number of successes you get is the number of health levels you heal, and then you have to roll on the battle scars table.
And I have to roll my primal anger.
No, your rage is. When you're rage healing like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I have primal anger. I'm gonna go.
It's not something you can control.
Gotcha. Okay. So it's 6, right? You said I have 2? I have 2 extra rage?
You have 2 extra rage right now because you have just seen your friends get blown the fuck up by a mage.
1, 2, 3.
So you are only... Really?
Nope.
I expected this out of, like... I love Jason to death, but I expect this type of thing out of Jason.
Well, it was perfectly logical, you know? We were going to continue our harassment. It would just be easier to give up the heart, because it's not like we were going to stop.
And there was no reason that we expected it.
And he
Yeah.
knew we weren't gonna stop, so he blew us up.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's fine, and that's totally in character. And if it killed us, that's how it goes, you know? I mean, that's just, you know? Shit happens.
And there was no reason for us to expect that it was a bomb either. Because, hey, the dude just got tired of us. Here's
Yeah.
something like that.
As our van rolls on fire into Alamo Heights, and we still get another ticket.
Drew, thinking of that, you are inside of a burning vehicle. What are you going to do? This is the initial action after the van blows up.
Do I see the cop car anywhere?
Yes, it's actually right at that corner where y'all have been pulled over twice before.
Cool. I'm gonna accelerate into him.
Okay, you're in a burning vehicle.
Does it still work?
No!
No!
You would have to
Okay,
push
well,
my charred corpse out of the way anyway.
Get out of the way! I need this car. No, I'm just gonna get out of it.
Okay. So, as you take a look around at yourself, you realize on your... which is your primary hand?
He'll be right-handed.
3 fingers on your right hand are missing. That just happened to be where the explosion had taken off. So, you have +3 difficulty anytime using that hand. And until you gain ambidextrous, which I will allow you to learn, you're kind of stuck. So you got this left.
Okay. It's a scar, though.
No, the fingers are gone.
I thought you roll on the scar table.
It's not an actual roll. It's just a list of things that can happen.
Oh, okay.
You're fingerless, dude.
No, I still have my 2. That's all that matters.
He can still use the hand, it's just at a higher difficulty.
Yeah. I can still do the finger gun and shoot him.
Spirit gun, pew pew. I cast a fire spell. I've got an automatic door.
Lucas, if you survive this, you're gonna have so much glory, man.
So, actually, that is something. You do get 2 temporary glory for this.
Like, Jesus Christ.
I'm done. I'm going to kill the cop. I want all those mages dead.
Okay, so you're just shifting Krynos?
No, I'm gonna stay calm.
Okay, so how are you going to do this?
Do I see the cop?
Yes, he is right where he was last
Or
time.
do I just see the car?
You see the cop in the car. He is not making his presence hidden one bit.
Gotcha. I'm gonna walk up to his car.
As you begin to walk over, he steps out of the vehicle.
Okay.
Are you alright? Do you need an ambulance?
No, I'm fine.
Well, we have an ambulance on the way.
I am missing my fingers though. So if you find them, let me know.
I don't know what happened, but I've already called in what happened to your vehicle. What happened?
I don't know. The whole thing exploded. Just
It exploded?
yeah.
That is absolutely amazing.
Bad gas leak. How close am I to him?
You are outside of striking range in Krynos. His hand is on his hip.
Well, I'm not going to him. I'm gonna flip his car. He's the one that gave us tickets. He dicey mad. My brain is like not thinking straight.
So, are you shifting to Krynos?
Yes, I'm gonna hit him with his car.
Okay. As you go to step near his car, this is where it gets interesting, because you are now within range of a... I have just become a killer DM in 2 fucking seasons of San Antonio After Dark. You go to pick up his car as you shift to Krynos. Do you remember what page ranged weapons are on?
Ranged weapons?
I found it. And my brain has just completely stuttered. Can he soak... I don't know why my brain stuttered on this. He can't soak silver in Krynos, can he? I can't hear you, man.
Oh, he can't soak silver in Krynos or in his breed form.
Alright, and roll initiative, Drew.
Okay. What's an alertness, right?
It's plus dex plus a d10.
Okay.
Roll the 7. Oh, no, sorry, that's
Within 2 fucking seasons of San Antonio After Dark, I have turned into a fucking killer DM.
Your fault.
Not my fault!
No, it was our fault. That was... We thought it really gave up.
Yeah, you know what? I mean,
We thought it was-
What's your modifier, Drew?
15.
You're at 15?
Yeah.
Alright, give me a strength roll.
Okay. Of course, that one would be there now.
You can't lift up the car entirely on the first turn. you're able to get up half of the car.
Is it high enough to crush him with it?
No.
Okay.
You've got the front end up. You don't have the back end up yet.
Just swing it at him like a baseball bat.
Yeah.
Oh, wrong dice.
That's tons of failure.
I know.
Well, he still misses you. We're just going to keep the same initiative. Give me strength and melee. Because of the weapon you are using, it is difficulty 8.
Because I'm using a car.
Mm-hmm. You're using a 2,000-pound vehicle as a weapon.
Yeah, whatever. It's all good.
More.
See, these are questions that you rarely have to ask. How much damage does a car do?
Can rage pump? Can you use rage to pump strength up, or is it just
Yes.
whatever?
You can use willpower, you can use rage for more actions, you can use it to power strength gifts, but it doesn't really give you strength.
So I can't use it to boost my strength. That's what
No,
I-
it's not blood points.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, no.
That's cool.
Damn. All right. Give me strength plus. What's your strength right now?
Let's see, 3, 4, strength,
7.
7.
Roll 5 dice for damage.
So 7 plus 5.
No, just 5.
Oh, okay.
All right. And let's see how his shield holds up against this. All right. It pushes him down to the ground. And it seems to at least tear off part of his uniform.
I'm gonna keep smashing him with a friggin' car.
So. Oops, it's 6. If you want to, you can roll rage again to heal up the rest of the silver damage that you have just taken as he shoots his very large pistol into you again.
Okay. Well, what does my primal anger do then? Because I mean, it gives me 3 rage for 1 aggravated damage.
No, so primal anger is basically you're inflicting a level of aggravated damage on yourself.
To get more rage.
Yes, which
Okay.
you would have to do at the beginning of the round or last round or whatever. But you would have to do it with silver weapon.
Oh, he's pissing me. Is it
Well-
just my standard rage, or do I have more rage because...
You actually have 2 points of extra rage, 1 for the taking the damage.
So 2 on top of the 2 I already have, or just the 2?
2 extra to whatever you currently have.
Okay. So I didn't know if that rage went away when I used it last time.
No, it's still bubbling up because you are still actively in activeness.
You're in the same scene, essentially.
Good. I'll take it. Now, that was sucks.
And bang bang, down goes the last werewolf. You had 3 damage left and he just did 4 ag to you.
Yep.
So just to let everyone know, all they had to do was take this guy out in the middle of transport.
But can't I dodge that?
No, you're gripped onto a car, smashing him with it.
Doesn't matter, I can still dodge a bullet.
That's something I would say.
So what's next season? Changeling? Because I don't know how to run that shit.
always go werewolves that are sent out to revenge these werewolves' deaths.
They died in battle, effectively.
Yeah, revenge. We weren't like murdered in our sleep. We died in honorable combat.
I mean, these two got blown up, and I'm like the closest thing to the Arun right now. Steven, where the hell were you?
Yeah, he was gonna be a Ragabash.
He could have been the voice of reason.
No, he would have lured Pokey-eyed away.
Doesn't Ragadash are like the jokesters?
So, just to let everyone know, I have no idea what we're going to do next. Partially because this insanity got a little out of hand. And it's because I believe in letting players decide what they want to do. It's that whole...
I don't think there was anything out of hand. It is actually a very real World of Darkness thing to try and psychologically terrorize someone into giving up.
I mean, we did it for the Imperium, or whatever, the Purge, or whatever that we did.
And it was reasonable.
And if I knew fucking Rogue Trader better, that would be a good one to run.
And you know, she did convince me that I really wanted the car.
All right.
I took a car.
So, for everyone watching, pay attention to my social media. Over the next few days, I will be talking with these guys and figuring out what we're going to do next. You know, Wraith is not off the table at this point.
A bunch of Arun Red Talons. Let's do this.
Given the circumstances, thank you for the host there. I'm the Rogue.
I'm down for Red Talon. I'll play Red Talon.
Wraith the Oblivion actually works really well here.
We're a whole bunch of Iron Riders.
But we'll figure something out. It might be a hunter game. It might be a hunter-hunted game. Because I actually like that system. Just strip out the powers.
Oh no, Hunter the Reckoning. Hunter's Hunted is just people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, because their powers are GIMP in Hunter's Hunted. Hunter the Reckoning is the one where they get superpowers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Do it without the superpowers. Straight mortals.
Well, no, because Hunter's Hunted is a completely different game.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I like Hunter's Hunted.
Yeah.
Partially because I scratched my brain reading Hunter the Reckoning. And
It's kind of bizarre. I mean, but it had to do because the game came out to basically end the World of Darkness. That's when it takes place. That's why it came out weird like it did.
so pay attention to our...
With a telephone that wasn't really connected to anything.
I don't mind trying Changeling or Mage.
I am not running a mage game. Ask Kirk what I do with an entropy mage on a regular basis.
He gets lucky.
Oh my.
And that's not an understatement either. So many times we have been saved by, oh, here, have a sip.
However, keep in mind, he doesn't actually help his friends.
I set you on fire once.
You have never given me any spell of any goodness.
It's not for lack of trying. And blessing you is not like doing a spell to give you mage armor.
No, but everybody else gets good blessings, and it's like, you fuck off.
So we're going to do our advertisement before the end of the game tonight, like we always do. And some of these might be out of date. To be honest, these last couple weeks have been pretty bad for me with my work situation. Some of the people here know it already. But on Tuesday nights, we have Storyteller Spira, Cedar Tree. They run their Vampire the Masquerade game. Cedar Tree I haven't seen in a while, but Spira I have seen on a regular basis. Wednesday nights, it won't be this week, but next week, or at least it should be next week. Or not, it should have been this week, blah, 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 every 2 weeks. 10 p.m. Central Time, they're supposed to be starting a Werewolf Dark Ages game, or they're still going to continue their V5 game. Thursday nights, we have Lost Tribes Gaming, a game where I'm playing a hacker in. It starts at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time over at Lost Tribes channel. Friday nights, expect to see us back here next week. Even if we don't roleplay, we'll probably play a Jackbox game and talk about what we're going to do next. Something. We want to continue to bring you entertainment, and that's the goal, is to bring you the entertainment. Saturdays we have Green Dragon, Calvin. As always, they're regular. They keep on their things. If you check out their social media, they'll let you know if they're not going to be able to do it. And Sunday we have the smorgasbord. We have Changeling over at John Varel, Silly Goose with Vampire the Masquerade, Green Dragon with Vampire the Masquerade. Every other week, Lost Tribes has his vampire game. A newcomer who's been around for about a month, 2.5 months, Ren Vender. And Zach, go ahead and advertise your channel tonight.
So yeah, my channel, Lords at 2424. I know Mazzy has joined in the conversation a couple times. We have just started a Red Talons game, and right now, as a while back, Mazzy in the chat has actually said it is the cutest game of Red Talons ever. These are literally lupus cubs, about a year and a half old, who don't have just been introduced barely to Los Angeles, Hollywood. Have nothing to do, don't know where to go, and they then basically are discovering the world. That they've been in Africa most of their life. They're a year and a half. Anyways, that is on at 3 Eastern, 2 Central, and 12 Pacific.
All right. And with that said, we're going to go ahead and close out the stream here. I'll say it 1,000 times over. We really appreciate you guys here. This is, I don't know about the other guys, but I think I can speak for them. This is actually a lot of fun to entertain people. I know we're not professional voice actors or anything like that, so you don't hear me going all fucking Matt Mercer over here with the voices.
We'll find a way of handicapping our DMs so he can't kill us from now on.
That was... You guys weren't even suspicious of it!
Hey, it's your roles. I'm telling you, this thing hates us.
He stepped out, dropped a silver briefcase, and you're like, let's open it up.
No, I specifically said, Lucas, you open this up. Because I figured it was a bomb, and he was the only one in Hamid who could soak it.
And that's a jerk thing to do because I have curiosity. That is messed up, dude.
But with that said, this will close out the technical second season of San Antonio After Dark. If, like I said, come here next week. We'll probably be discussing what we want to do for the games afterwards. If not, we'll at least entertain you with our cruel humor, or crude humor, playing some Jackbox games, which we would more than love for you guys to participate in as well. Y'all have a great night, absolutely wonderful weekend.